Lauren, do I really need to be consuming the foods that say USDA organic on it? Or could I just eat the conventional food? My grandmother lived until she was 110 years old. She ate whatever she wanted, she drank whatever she wanted, and she was fine. So how come I can't do that? Well, I get this question more times than not, and the main reason why you could do that, for sure. I'm not saying you could or you couldn't, but there has been a lot that has changed in the past 100 years, and I really want to discuss today about the conventional food as well as the organic food and the differences that they have in between, and why choosing organic might have a huge impact on your health. So, starting with conventional, the biggest thing is that the US mainly sources their produce through conventional foods, which the conventional foods looks like using antibiotics. So for instance, let's just say you're eating chicken. All you see is, a chicken breast at the store, packaged real nicely, says how much it weighs, says the price, but what you don't know is that it could have been fed with antibiotics. And the main reason why farmers use antibiotics with their foods is to help that chicken grow fast and fat so they can make more money. And then unfortunately, when we consume that produce, then we're consuming those antibiotics. And not only are doctors trying to stop giving people antibiotics for medical reasons, but now we keep consuming antibiotics that we're giving to other of our foods. So no bueno here. We do not want extra antibiotics in our system. It's very taxing on our gut and very harmful just to our overall health. So that's one. Two is they're using synthetic chemicals such as Roundup to get rid of any insects on the plants, to make sure that it's growing properly and nicely with no weeds around it. But obviously when we're consuming those chemicals, it can have a huge imbalance in our hormonal systems and our digestive systems, which can eventually lead to certain diseases down the road. And another big one is genetically modified organisms, so GMOs. So GMOs, there's a big controversy right now about if they're harmful to the body, if they're not harmful, because they're just started to have a lot of studies done on them now. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint this is the problem, this is what's causing the problem. But what they definitely do know is that it's having a very large problem with the soil. And when you think about it, it's a genetically modified crop. So when you're eating organic, you're getting more nutrients than that genetically modified food. So that's a benefit for eating organic. So to make that switch over to organic, what does that look like? So they're not using any hormones on with their animals. They're either, I would highly recommend eating grass-fed meat or chicken or pasture-raised eggs. This is what you think of when you're going to the store. When you think about buying like eggs, like what do you think about? You just think of like a bunch of hens laying their eggs in a grass field, or cows just roaming, right? And unfortunately the conventional way of doing things, it does not look like that. And it's actually very, very sad. I won't get into it, but when you eat free range, that's what you're getting, and organic. So the second one is that they're not using any synthetic chemicals. So they're just allowing things to grow as they should be. With that being said, because of that, it's also very nourishing to the soil that they're not just depleting the soil with all these chemicals, which eventually leaks down into our water systems, and it's just no good. So one of the benefits, what I said before about eating organic, is that you are getting way more nutrients from the food when you consume it. You're not consuming any of the pesticide residue that's left on the conventional foods. And three, it's way better for the soil. So I know a lot of people ask, well, like, I can't just like throw everything out of my pantry that's not organic. And I'm not saying do that. I'm saying start small, start being more aware of just if you have an option to choose free range or conventional, that you pay the extra 50 cents for the free range. Not only does it taste better, but it's going to make your body feel better. And just start making that slow shift. And then if you still are thinking about the idea, well, it's just too expensive to consume organic produce, just know that there is so many different ways around that. You can go to your local farmer's market, get to know your farmer, ask how he's cultivating his crops, if he's using organic feed, and make sure you ask that question, because there is some farmers that don't. And then you could even go to Aldi. Aldi's becoming one of my favorite stores, where you can buy good quality, price reasonable food, and it's good, it's delicious. So just start being more aware, start making that switch, and you don't have to buy everything organic when you first start. But I will post below the top 10 Dirty Dozen list that gets submitted every single year, and it goes over the top, I think 10 or 12 different fruits and vegetables that get heavily sprayed with chemicals. So again, if you have the option to choose the organic food for that, then I would suggest choosing it. So I hope this was informational. Sorry I keep moving around, there's like 1,000 mosquitoes out here. But I hope that was informational. If you have any questions, please reach out on my Instagram. I'd be happy to connect with you and just answer any other questions. I hope you be well, stay healthy, and eat clean.